Hi everyone, this is Lena and guess where I am? There is St. Basil's Cathedral behind me, Kremlin and the GUM store. Yes, I'm reporting from Moscow and I'm on the Red Square, the main square of Russia. And Moscow is Russia's capital, and even when Romanovs ruled the country and St. Petersburg was the capital, all the coronation ceremonies would take place right here, inside one of the Kremlin's cathedrals. I arrived here today and I'm here for one day only to meet with a friend of mine, and I'm willing to share how I spent this day with you. So let's go! Red Square. It's a wonderful place full of history. Here's St. Basil's Cathedral, the famous candy church built in 1500s, and they say that the architect who built it was either killed or blinded to make sure he'd never construct anything as beautiful ever again. Being an architect at that time was living on borrowed time, no less. And here we have the famous Kremlin wall, and on the other side of it you'd see the old historic buildings, the old churches, the famous Ivan the Great Bell Tower. We mentioned it in one of our previous videos. The most famous of them all is the palace with the office of the current president of Russia in it. This here is the mausoleum. Inside you can still see the mummified body of Russia's revolutionary Lenin. You can visit almost every day, but today for some reason it's not open. Of course, the trip would not be complete without me showing you Russia's national treasure, Bolshoi Theater, the most famous theater of Russia. Every single Russian dancer and singer dreams about performing here. It's mandatory that you visit it if you ever come to Russia. Even though it's the end of January, the Christmas and New Year's fairs are still operating. Everything is decorated to look nice and festive. The ice skating rink is here as well, and it's already a famous tradition as it's installed pretty much every year. And of course, when you're in Moscow, make sure you don't miss the GUM store to feel the atmosphere of a Soviet department store. GUM was built back in the 1800s and was a unique, innovative project, and it was the biggest shopping mall of Europe at the time. Here you can also try the famous ice cream, which they still use the recipe that dates back all the way to Soviet times for. Much recommended. Moving on, I meet my friend and it's about time to have some food. The day is cold, 4 degrees Fahrenheit below, and the best way to warm up is some thick borscht and vodka, of course. That's why we decided to go for Ukrainian food in one of the local restaurants a couple hundred feet from the Kremlin. After you're done and when you leave the place, they give you a shot of horseradish flavored vodka and it's on the house. A great way to finish a tasty dinner. Now before we say goodbye to Moscow, we take a walk down Nikolskaya Street, which is very pretty with all the lights on, and you'll never see snow on the ground here as it's heated in winter. Now as we enter a side street, you can see lots of fancy shops, and it's been this way forever. Even centuries ago, this was Moscow's shopping street built by prominent merchants. Take a look at the entrance gate, which is constructed in traditional Russian style. To get to the train station, where I take my train to come back to St. Petersburg, I decided to take subway so I could show you the most beautiful stations in the world. It was built when Russia was communist and it's reflected in the ornamentation. The stations were used as bomb shelters during the Second World War, and they had everything you ever needed to survive. They even had libraries and maternity hospitals. I'm not gonna lie, even though I'm from St. Petersburg and love my city wholeheartedly, Moscow subway beats St. Petersburg subway easily. Well, it's time to call it a day and I'm off to catch my train. This time I almost missed it. The great thing is that it only takes 3.5–4 hours to travel between these two cities, and after a short nap on the train, I'm back home again. Sending you hugs, your Russian friend Lena.